So today I want to show you something that I think every brow artist struggles with at some point: how to tint brows without making them look like they were drawn on with a marker. Honestly, this is probably the #1 request I get from clients. They come in and say, "I want my brows to look better, but please don't make them too dark." And I totally get it. There is nothing worse than walking out of a salon feeling like your brows don't match your face. So the technique I'm going to walk you through today is what I call natural tinting. No over-darkening, no harsh lines, just soft, harmonious color that enhances what you already have. But before we even think about color, we need to start with a clean canvas. This is something a lot of people skip, and honestly, it makes such a difference. I'm using the OKO Brow Shampoo here, and the reason I love it is that it removes all the oils, all the makeup residue, everything that could potentially block the dye from absorbing evenly. You know what I mean? If you skip this step, you might end up with patchy color, and then you're sitting there wondering what went wrong. Trust me, I learned this the hard way early in my career. Cleansing is not optional, it's essential. I'm working the product through each hair, making sure every single follicle is clean and prepped. This also helps moisturize the hairs slightly, which is going to make the tinting process way more predictable. Alright, now we're moving into shaping, and this is where things get interesting. I always do the wax correction before tinting, never after. And here is the thing that a lot of newer artists don't realize. If you tint first and then wax, you're going to pull off some of that beautiful color you just applied, so the order matters. I'm using warm wax here, starting with the areas below the brow line where we have the most stray growth. The key with wax is to stretch the skin properly. If you don't stretch, you're not going to get a clean pull, and worse, you might bruise the skin. Nobody wants that, right? I'm working carefully around the natural arch because with this client, she has a really beautiful natural shape that I want to preserve. The goal isn't to create some Instagram brow template. The goal is to clean up what's already there and let her natural beauty shine through. Now I'm going in for the second pass with wax. This is the detail work, fine-tuning the upper line, making sure both brows have symmetrical proportions. And let me tell you something about symmetry that I always tell my students. Brows are sisters, not twins. They will never be perfectly identical, and if you try to force them to be, you'll actually make things look worse. What we're going for is balance. Similar arch height, similar thickness, similar tail length. But if one brow naturally sits a tiny bit higher than the other, that's completely normal. That's human. And honestly, that's what makes a face interesting. Okay, so now I'm switching to tweezers for the really precise work. There are always a few stubborn little hairs that the wax doesn't catch, usually around the tail or right at the front of the brow. This is where patience becomes your best friend. You want to pluck in the direction of growth, and you want to make sure you're only removing hairs that are genuinely outside the shape. I've seen artists get a little too enthusiastic with tweezers, and suddenly the brow is half the width it should be. Less is more, always. And here comes the magic part, the tinting itself. Now, this is the technique that really separates a natural result from an overdone one. Instead of coating the entire brow in dye, I'm applying the cream colorant only where there are gaps, only where the brow needs a little extra definition. This is so important. If you saturate the whole brow, especially on someone with naturally light hair like my client today, you're going to get a very heavy, solid block of color. And that's the opposite of natural, so I'm using a thin angled brush and I'm placing the product very precisely, almost like I'm painting individual strokes. The areas where the hair is already dense, I leave those alone. They don't need help. It's the sparse spots, the little gaps between hairs. That's where the color goes. While the dye is processing, let me talk to you about something that I think doesn't get discussed enough in our industry: color selection. For natural tinting, I always go one shade lighter than what the client thinks they want, always, because the dye will oxidize slightly over the next 24 hours, and the color will deepen. So if you match exactly to their desired shade in the chair, by tomorrow it's going to be too dark. It's a rookie mistake, and honestly, it's one I made more times than I'd like to admit when I was starting out. Now I'm washing off the dye and checking the coverage. If there are still a few spots that need a little more attention, I can do a quick touch-up, but the goal is always minimal product for maximum natural impact. Now we're into the finishing stage, and this is where the whole look comes together. I'm doing a light trim here, just the very tips of any hairs that are a bit longer than the rest. This creates a more uniform texture without removing any volume. And then I'm brushing everything into place with a clean spoolie. You know, I always say that a good spoolie is a brow artist's best friend. It tells you everything you need to know about the shape, the direction of growth, and whether the color is sitting right. Have you ever tried the OKO Brow Fix? This is honestly one of my favorite products right now. It's a setting gel that locks the hairs in place without making them look crunchy or stiff. You know those brow gels that make the hairs look wet and stuck together? This is not that. This gives you that beautiful, fluffy, brushed up look that stays in place all day. I'm applying it with a spoolie, brushing the hairs upward and slightly outward, following the natural growth direction. And look at that, you can see how it sets the shape without adding any visible product. And there we have it. Look at the difference. The brows are defined, they're shaped beautifully, and the color is soft and absolutely natural. No harsh edges, no blocks of solid color, just a gentle enhancement that makes her eyes pop and frames her face perfectly. This is exactly what natural brow tinting should look like. The best compliment I ever receive is when a client's friend says, "Something looks different about you, but I can't figure out what it is." That means I did my job right. Because the best brow work is the kind that nobody notices. They just notice that you look amazing.